Twice the time, we're looking at you guys, but it's a Hydro HP we fly. Jay, we're taking a look at the Rokkr. Who's that going to be?
I think it's got to be attached for Minnesota. He set the turn early in that map, #1 HP. And then on the opposite side, it has to be Skies for me. The other main AR for this roster had a slow start in that control, even though it leads to the W. They didn't really have the best performance in that map, #1. So the ARs in those power positions, it's going to be some crucial one-on-one fights between those two players.
So Jay, I want to talk about Hydro for a moment, right? We got a lot of new viewers watching Champs. Obviously, when it comes down to this event, incredibly excited to have you guys. What is Hydro all about? What are teams looking at right now on the map?
Right now, what you're mainly paying attention to, we know, in a majority of these hard points, the P1 is always going to be scrappy. It's all about the gunfights going into the next hill, and right now, Minnesota Rokkr, even though they're not getting time off of this P1, there is no need to panic because P2 is a money hill. You just cannot allow any players from the Subliners to slip through. Multiple water routes that you have to try to pay attention to, but screw the water. We're just going to go right through the front. The Subliners take down 2. They're trying to flip the spawns, but at least Minnesota Rokkr still staying alive on the right side of the map, gets that spawn for Vance to win that rotation towards next.
Yep, New York hit all the time at P1, but you're not angry about that if you're Minnesota, as you said, given that you're going to have that hard point up next. Hydra looking to make the play. Oh my God! See you later, Vance, and it's a break instantly from New York. As solid as you'd like. My God, what a break that was, Jay. I'm speechless.
That's just a clean 4 dead right there from the Subliners. Now it's time for Kismet to go for a swim.
They even had a stun come over the top and kill somebody.
Priest took one down with a stun as well. So now if you are Minnesota, the game is shaking up a little bit. You were expecting an answer over towards B2, but with the Subliners finding an instant break and with only 20 seconds left, you are now forced to give this one up. Rotate early over towards P3, put your team in the proper setup to get some much needed time to try to get back into this game.
It's like if you're in the Minnesota comms, you just hear everybody just with the side and you're like,
oh my.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna try to rotate. Maybe, I don't know, maybe try to recontest this a bit, but my goodness, already off the rip, New York up major. Rokkr, well, now you're gonna have to be the ones that stay composed. Skies gifted a free 2-piece, and from there, it's time for Hydra to get going.
And now Minnesota have to get out of the hill again. They know that the pressure's coming in. Teammates are spawning all the way across the map. We have to clutch up in a couple of these gunfights, and Cammy's the man to do it. He takes down 2. Hydra takes down 2 of his own, and with Priest in this position, they get the close back spawns. Hydra just did it all to break this hill individually, and now he's applying pressure through the front end. The French Phenom is starting to take over.
And this is why many currently call him the best player in the game, starting to level up his performance, and right now having himself a swim. Hydra looking to hydrate. And right now for New York, they eventually do get wiped off the point, but they have made their presence felt so far here on Hydro. Now the path is what we're gonna rotate. And it is Hydra trying to be a thorn in their side. That's now gonna be 5 in a row, and really a Minnesota team that's gonna be filled with anxiety, filled with stress, trying to figure out where he is. Finally cut down, but it's a cruise missile regardless.
Yeah, cruise missile now earned for Hydra. And now if you are Minnesota Rokkr, you didn't really have an opportunity to put yourself in the best setup because you were trying to locate where Hydra was going to apply the pressure from. But this is some much needed time for them to get back into this one. Do the Subliners decide to invest that cruise missile? Most likely not, because they have players in some great positions. Hydra and Kismet already combined for 2, make it 3. The spawns now flip. Another break for the Subliners.
And this is the Subliners that we saw at Major 5, Jay, a team that is so scary when it comes down to their breaks. Hydra causing some problems through the water. He was lighting everybody up. You see Kismet on 3. Skies gifted another double. Flying through the air. He's looking like Spider-Man. Oh, he gets the 3rd. New York are styling so far throughout this game. Nearly up 100 points as Minnesota go on retreat, tail between their legs. Can they finally lock down a hard point, Jay?
It doesn't look like it's going to be the case, though, because Skies and Kismet already find themselves behind enemy lines. Now Hydra at least takes down 1, but there's 3 players here from the Subliners trying to go for a break. It's all on Fame. He does take down 2. He's waiting for his teammates to get back into the play, and so far that has led to a great hold. The rookie is making it happen for Minnesota to try to get back into this game, but when I say that, Subliners right through the front for another break.
Yeah, that's the problem, right, for Minnesota. It just feels like they're having to work for every single second. As you said, Fame comes away with a lovely double, locking down time. Then the rest of his teammates end up dropping. Vance comes away with a few kills, but it doesn't matter. New York are constantly placed inside of that objective. It's going to be a 100-point lead as we get ready for the second set of rotations. And really, if you're Minnesota, you're just trying to keep your head on straight. Just try to focus and hopefully, Jay, have a much more successful start to the second set of hardpoint.
Yeah, it has to be in their hold percentage because they are winning a rotation every single time. Every single hill so far, they have been the team early on. Just came down to the setups and New York finding those openings, finding those initial gunfights to find the break. But now currently down by 100 points. You currently find at least Bance in a position trying to hold down these P2 spawns. He gets the timing. Once he finds that kill, his teammate spawns up all on the right side. But with the Subliners, the lead they currently have, they can play for this remaining 40 seconds. They can play for all this time at P1 because they know that Minnesota have two things that they have to focus on.
Yeah, like for New York, like you've eaten your vegetables. You've done all the hard work. Now it's just a matter of really do whatever you'd like. You have the ability to play with house money at the moment. And right now they're looking for another break over at P2. Minnesota beginning to crumble like the foundation that they sit in. Hydra applying the pressure. Another cruise missile for the French phenom as New York now have got that spawn ready to go. P2 is about to be their home.
Yeah, this game is basically locked up for the Subliners. They are doing everything that they need to do. On the first rotation of hardpoints was all about the break. So far, on the second rotation, it's been the rotations where they're the team early set up. Priesta, Hydra, and Kismet already combined for 3. They're going to be able to breach that 200-point mark. But it's only a matter of time before they're able to force that game 5.
Oh, and Hydra. Look at his numbers, Jay. He's 20-8.
Feet kicked up.
Oh, here comes some more. Quick little engagement, Minnesota. They just gotta go. Green light engaged, but they just continue to not win the trades. Kismet, now he's on 4 in a row. New York, not a chance to necessarily win it here, but it's not going to be all that much further once this hardpoint comes to a close. We talk about momentum. We're talking about a team who's got to dig deep, got to be ready. Minnesota delivered a nice little blow, but New York, a knockout punch here in game number 4. Can Minnesota even reach 70 points, Jay? I don't think that's possible.
I don't think it's possible, but at least they do win a couple key gunfights off the rotation. And they're fully set up over towards this P3 again. But now Priesta on the route, trying to flip these spawns for his teammates. He knows they're applying the pressure through the front end. All they need is one break to close out this game. He gets the first gunfight. Cruise missile invested. Hydra takes him down. Subliners are in. They're going to close out the game.
Yeah, it just feels like you're faced off against a guy who's been like grinding in a few different games. New York, they have every single attribute, every single thing going in their favor. And that very well could be the knockout blow of this series. 100-point club here in game 4.